What's going on, guys? Tyson Brown here, and today I want to talk to you all about intermittent fasting and how to avoid muscle loss. So recently, when I've been doing my intermittent fasting, I managed to lose 12 kilos and I actually gained lean muscle mass while losing body fat. And the way I did this were a few simple tips. Now, the first thing you need to think about is when it comes to intermittent fasting is you're still consuming enough calories. A lot of people, when they do intermittent fasting, some people, they just don't eat enough food. And even though you're losing weight, you're losing too much weight, which means you're gonna be making muscle loss too. So what you want to focus on is losing a small amount of weight every single week, as opposed to 2, 3, 4 kilos as much as you can, because the more weight you lose, there's only so much body fat that you can lose at once before you start losing muscle and other sources too. So you want to avoid that. So if you're, if you're relatively still pretty lean, if you're under the 100 kilo mark, if you're not super obese, you can maintain losing half a kilo to a kilo a week of pure body fat, instead of going, all right, I'm going to try lose 2 or 3 kilos a week and just start losing muscle mass. That's the one thing that's going to really just start becoming detrimental. So making sure that you're getting enough calories to make sure you're losing a small amount of weight, not a huge amount of weight. The second tip I want to share with you guys is you've got to remain strong. Think about this. If you can bench press 100 kilos for 6 reps and you weigh 70 kilos, and then you can bench 100 kilos for 6 reps and you weigh 60 kilos, well, guess what? You've maintained that muscle mass because you're still able to use the same amount of weight and push the exact same amount of reps. So that was the big key thing for me, and it goes against conventional wisdom. If you're trying to cut down weight, you want to remain as strong as possible to maintain that muscle mass. Don't focus on doing high repetitions. You can some stuff, but your main movements, you want to stick to being strong. Because what happens is, if the more high repetitions we do, the more damage we do to our muscle, the harder it is for the muscle to recover, especially if you're in a calorie deficit. So if you can maintain your strength, you're going to maintain more of your muscle mass, and that's a huge important factor for a lot of people. So instead of just trying to follow what everyone else suggests and do a bodybuilding workout and do high repetitions and burn as many calories as possible, do the opposite approach. What you can do is lift heavy weights, make sure you maintain your strength, and even try and improve your strength. I've actually created a whole program around this, explaining to people, it's free, explain to them what type of workout they should be doing. So if you want to get that 4-week workout, what I used when I was doing my cutting, make sure to click the link above and I'll give it to you straight away. Now, another big tip that people need to think about is when you have your workout. If you're going to have your workout, it needs to be around breaking your fast. And the reason this is so important is because when you work out, like I said, you're breaking down muscle. So if you have a workout in the morning and you don't eat until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, well then you've broken down muscle that whole time and you're not going to be able to repair. So what you want to focus on is whenever you break your fast, whether it be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock, whatever you do, try and time your workout around that period. What I always like to do is go and have a workout and then have a post-workout straight away. I'll have a post-workout shake that I'll make with some oats and some protein powder, or I'll go and get some whole food, because I'm a more big advocate of whole food, like a steak and rice and things like that. If you can, that's going to be the most beneficial thing for you to do, because you're going to restore your muscle glycogen, you're going to push nutrients back into the muscles, and you're going to prevent that breakdown while still being able to lose body fat, which is what you guys want at the end of the day. It's all good and well to lose weight, but you want to make sure it's body fat and not muscle too. So if you can, keep it as close as possible. If you can't, make sure you take branched chain amino supplements. Now, I talked about this in another video about training in the morning. So if you're someone who's a morning trainer, make sure to click up here, and then that way you're going to be able to see that training that I talked about, the best time to train, what you should be supplementing with BCAAs to prevent muscle loss. Like I said, at the end of the day, you guys want to be making sure you're gaining or saving or even gaining muscle. And then they're going to be the 3 biggest things you guys can do. So making sure you time your workout close to your feeding period, so that way you can make sure you're getting the most amount of the most benefits from it. Number 2 is to make sure that you're eating enough calories during the day. Don't try and lose 2 or 3 kilos at once, because it's not going to be the most beneficial thing. And number 3 is going to be making sure that you're using more strength training and go against conventional wisdom. Now, if you want the 4-week program, click the link down below. If you guys want the intermittent fasting checklist that I've also created, they're both free. Click the links down below because they're going to be your guiding light for you to burn body fat, to gain lean muscle, to look great, and to follow the intermittent fasting protocol. So that's the video today, guys. I hope it was informative, and I'll speak to you next time.